Last month, I made a Tesla video about Tesla prices crashing and how I'm seeing them firsthand at the auction with the prices dropping. That video got over 500,000 views on all of my social medias. And 1 month later, everything has come to fruition. Tesla prices have crashed. They have plummeted. And if you own a Tesla and you've bought one in 2020, 2021, or 2022, you might be in trouble. Here's what's going on in the Tesla industry. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's get going. Hey, so right behind me, you'll see a Tesla line. Tesla's charging and waiting, and every one of those cars has people just sitting in there, waiting for their cars to charge for half an hour at a time. It is unreal. While you're at the gas station and everybody's in and out, paying at the pump, pumping and in and out in under 10 minutes. But with EVs and everybody pushing the EV infrastructure, things are changing, and the lines are getting longer and longer, and people are starting to see the faults in the EV industry. So we all know our government's pushing electric vehicles hard, right? And they have been since COVID, with good reason. There's pollution coming from carbon emissions in our gasoline vehicles. There's a lot of problems in the world with climate change, and a lot has to do with everything you see right behind me. What better way to repair that than to make vehicles electric? Run on electric cars, no carbon emissions, right? Well, that electricity has to come from somewhere. To charge those cars, it has to come from somewhere. And where do we get that from? We get it from coal, we get it from diesel, we get it from fuel. So it is slightly skewed, but that isn't what this video is about. Now, just to give you some reference of what I know about electric vehicles, I was not well versed in electric vehicles till just over a year ago when I bought my own electric vehicle, and I drove from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to LA, cross country in an electric vehicle, non-Tesla, for a TV show to see what the infrastructure was actually like. Now here you'll see at this Wawa in Kissimmee, Florida, there are Tesla chargers all over. What you will not see is an Electrify America, a regular charging station for a regular EV that is not a Tesla. What do? Well, you have to search them out. You have to seek them out. You have to go find a Walmart with an open space for you to park your car, sit there for 30 minutes, for 45 minutes. And if the charging station isn't working correctly, sometimes over an hour. Sometimes those charging stations don't work at all. Now, every one of these cars has people sitting in there. There's kids in the back seats, there's people sitting in the front seats, and you have to wait and sit for a long time. Meanwhile, sometimes there's a line of Teslas waiting to charge around the corner in certain parking lots. Well, everybody wanted to go EV for quite some time, and especially with the government pushing it, we wanted to back that. We wanted to buy our electric vehicles. So right after COVID, everybody started to jump on the bandwagon and buy themselves an electric vehicle, especially hearing the rumors that we're all going electric by a certain time and date, right? Yeah, so now we have to start thinking about electric vehicles. Well, to get an electric vehicle, it's minimum $50,000. Not to mention there was a chip shortage, not to mention there was a part shortage, not to mention there was a high demand and low supply. So we had a COVID tax on all cars, and the prices started to climb and skyrocket, especially on Teslas. You're talking a 1-year wait when you order a Tesla. Now, those things have changed. But because the supply was low and the demand was high, prices skyrocketed on Teslas. You couldn't even get a new Tesla. You had to wait for a tremendous amount of time. So what do? You look for used ones. And when you look for used ones and the demand goes up, because a lot of people are looking for used ones, the price goes up alongside them. Now, there was a tremendous price hike on the value of a used Tesla because the demand was so high. So a lot of you may have bought a Tesla, new or used, in 2020, 2021, 2022. Well, I have some huge news because Tesla has lowered the MSRP on their vehicles, all of them across the board. I have a friend that worked for Tesla that's very informed. I'm going to show you him right now.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy a Tesla, that time might be now. If you bought a Tesla just in the last 2 weeks, I'm sorry. And that's all because of this. Tesla just dropped their prices of their vehicles across the board. Check this out. The standard range Model 3 is now $3,000 cheaper. The Performance is now $9,000 cheaper. Model Y, $13,000 cheaper. And the Model Y Performance, $13,000 cheaper.
Now, before I even knew that Tesla was dropping the prices on their MSRP, their manufactured suggested retail price, I saw it happening at the auction. I saw Teslas plummeting. I mean, they're dropping by $10,000, $15,000 in a matter of 30 days. I have messages being sent to me like this one right here. This Model Y has a $13,000 price drop. The Model Y below it, another $10,000. Then we're looking at a 21 Model Y, a $13,000 price drop, another $13,000 price drop. I've never in my history of buying and selling cars have seen price drops that tremendous that quickly. Where Carmax has dropped the price on their used Teslas by up to $15,000 on their entire Tesla inventory. What does that mean for you if you bought a Tesla? It means you own it for too much money, which is a little scary to think that way. You either have to keep making the payments, or what you shouldn't do and what I wouldn't recommend is like if you can't afford the payments, you got to turn it back to the bank. That isn't something I'd recommend. Just ride your payments out until your car's paid off, and you know, it stinks, but a lot of us overpaid for vehicles with market adjustments in the past few years.
And that's not all. The Model S and the Model X got cheaper too. And here's why. Basically, at the start of the new year, new tax incentives went in place for EV buyers, making it so a lot of hybrids and non-full electric vehicles qualified for a massive $7,500 tax credit. Teslas had most of their vehicles not qualify because they were too expensive. So now you could buy a $65,000 Tesla Model Y for, after taxes, $45,000.
So here's a text I got from a friend that has been following techs. This is directly from Carmax website to show you how much the prices have changed on used Teslas. And there's more to it than that. It's not just that the demand has gone down. It's not just that the prices have gone down. People actually are starting to see how inefficient, not miles per gallon, but how inefficient it actually is to own a Tesla. Again, these people are just sitting here waiting, and I'm in Florida. I live in New Hampshire, where it gets really cold, and we're starting to see that range decrease tremendously in cold weather. The battery doesn't last as long in cold weather. Never mind that most Teslas and electric vehicles, the door handles pop out. We have freezing batteries that people can't charge their car because the temperature is so cold, their batteries will not charge. So they're bricked in parking lots, they're bricked in their driveways, they can't get to work.
This is the message I get. Battery is heating, keep charge cable inserted. Okay, it's 1:11. 1 hour later. Battery is heating, keep charge cable inserted. 19 miles.
Now, I don't want to be an anti-EV. I love EV. I'm going to Audi to look at an Audi e-tron GT when I get back this week. I love them. I think they're really fun. I love that I can commute with it and charge from home. But that brings me to my next point. My electric bill since last year has literally doubled. My electric bill has gone up 100% in the past year. So now, yes, I'm saving money at the pump, but I'm bringing my electric vehicle home to charge every night to increase my home electric bill. So either way, I'm still paying in either direction. Granted, what they say is it's less expensive to charge at home than it is to buy fuel for your car. But my bills are still increasing every month as I see them on my electric bill when I get them. So I'm on vacation in Florida with my father. I got a rental car for $101 for the entire trip. It was incredible. There are gas stations everywhere. Now, I don't know the area very well at all, but what is easy is finding a station to fill up my car. Now, yes, the gas station was busy, but we were in and out in
7 minutes.
7 minutes tops. It cost me $20 to fill up the car, and you'll see here, I'm getting 29.5 miles to the gallon. Now, you have a Honda Accord Hybrid.
Correct.
What do you get for fuel mileage in your Honda Accord Hybrid?
In the warm weather, I probably get 50, people may not believe this, but it's true, over 50 miles a gallon, okay? Cold weather, 38 all day long.
You don't have to plug in,
No.
ever. You never have to plug in. So hybrid vehicles are probably more where it's at than electric vehicles. If you want to save fuel economy.
One of the best cars I've ever owned, that Honda Accord Hybrid.
Now, I will say the only thing is maintenance. So you have maintenance, you have oil changes on your car. With an electric vehicle, you have a lot less maintenance. So you do have that as far as longevity of the vehicle, right?
Yes, theoretically, because you don't have to do oil changes. You know, there are other things you don't have to do, the fluids. However, the maintenance that you do have to do, maybe battery maintenance or something else, could be highly expensive compared to an oil change.
So the oil changes you're saving might actually be significantly more when it's time to replace that battery. And we've seen points where it's cheaper to just sell your Tesla or your electric vehicle than it is to replace the battery in it.
Correct. Also, two friends I have that have Teslas, and I like the car, they're beautiful. Some of the most comfortable leather I've ever seen is in the Tesla.
That's true.
But they ask me, why are we always replacing tires? And you guys out there may know this, but those cars are heavy, so they go through tires faster than my Honda Hybrid does.
I didn't even think of that. And now, to put it in perspective for reliability, because we were talking about maintenance, you have a Honda. That car's gonna run forever.
Yeah,
and
holds its value.
I don't really hear about people replacing the batteries on those hybrids very often.
No.
Rasul, who works for me, he has a Prius with 324,000 miles on the original battery, and he delivers food part-time too. So he's killing miles on that car. He commutes back and forth to work, never has to worry about plugging his car in, gets 40 plus, I think he gets 45 miles to the gallon.
Right.
At 300,000 miles on the original battery. So we should probably start thinking more hybrid energy than electric vehicle energy.
I agree. I love the hybrid. I think the hybrid is the way to go. I don't have to charge it. I don't have to wait in lines. The mileage is far better than I ever expected, and the car is comfortable. It's not small like a Prius. It's an Accord. I have no complaints about that Honda Accord.
Behind me is a Model X pulling in right now. We've seen several Teslas pull in this 15-minute video, and not a single Tesla pull out in this entire 15-minute video. This car behind me actually has a child in the back seat. Imagine having to come to a charging station at a gas station and just have your kid sit patiently in the back seat while you charge from a half an hour plus. It's wild, and the logic sometimes isn't there. It's got to be tough for families. So I like to say that I'm in front of the market because I own a car dealership. I see how people are spending, I see what people are buying, and I especially see when people are not spending, which is a big thing right now. People are getting a little conservative, they're getting a little bit tighter with their wallet, they're holding on to their cash, which means they're not buying as many things. When they're not buying as many things, they're not buying as many cars. When they're not buying as many cars, the supply keeps going. We don't have that supply shortage anymore, but the demand goes down, the prices decrease. So now we're in a down market. So if you actually do want a Tesla, now is probably the time to buy it. I said they were going down a month ago. Now they're down. They are low. If you're looking about Teslas, you can officially get the $7,500 EV tax credit on Teslas as well, which is really, really great if you are in the market for Tesla. So this isn't an anti-Tesla video. I told you the prices were coming down. The prices are down. It's probably the time to buy if you are thinking about getting an electric vehicle. I hope this video was helpful. I like to make these just because I like to show you what I'm seeing in the EV market. I'm not anti, I'm not for. I'm completely bipartisan. I own one, I'm buying another one. I like them, but I can absolutely see the cons of them too. I hope this video was informative, helpful, educational. If it was, a thumbs up is always appreciated. I'll see you later. Adios.